Welcome to IU Fast 5. I'm Trent Petrowski alongside me, Drew Burke. Start your clocks because the fastest 5 minutes in IU sports starts now. Indiana baseball took on number 18 Louisville this past Tuesday at Bart Kaufman Field here in Bloomington. It was a sloppy start for the Hoosiers as senior pitcher Ryan Kraft walked Alex Alicia to start the game. Alicia would then advance to second on a ground out, steal third, then get the run at home off a fielding error on a play that would have ended the inning. But the Hoosiers would rally for a 4-run fourth inning, powered by a pair of wild pitches and a base hit from redshirt sophomore Joey Brenchevsky. The Hoosiers entered the 8th inning up 2 runs, looking to get the final 6 outs, but it was not meant to be. After an RBI single from Zion Rose and a throwing error, Eddie King Jr. cleared the bases for the Cardinals with a 2-run home run, giving Louisville a 2-run lead heading into the bottom of the 8th. It was too much for the Hoosiers to overcome and ultimately fell to the Cardinals by a score of 6-4. Here's what head coach Jeff Mercer had to say.
From the standpoint that they've got the capabilities of doing a better job than that. And if you get beat, you get beat. But we were a very active participant in beating ourselves, and that part's frustrating.
The Hoosiers are back in action this weekend with a 3-game series against Michigan State starting on Friday. The Spartans sit at 17-10 as they look to keep their solid campaign going.
In IU men's basketball news, Malik Renew has announced his commitment back home to the Miami Hurricanes, and former 5-star Mackenzie Mbako recently went to social media sharing he was in Lexington, Kentucky. And turning a new page, Indiana head coach Darren DeVries is putting his foot on the gas as Connor Enright, who was on DePaul this past season, has committed to Indiana, making him the Hoosiers' first official transfer commit. He produced 7.5 points with 6 assists, 3 rebounds, while shooting 39% from the field overall. Additionally, soon after Enright's commitment, the Hoosiers signed DeVries' son, Tucker, who was one of the top transfers in the transfer portal. With West Virginia, the 6'7" guard produced 14.9 points, 4.9 rebounds, 2 assists while shooting 41% from the field to go along with a very impressive 47% from three-point range. In other news, high-profile prospect Josh Dix visited IU on Monday in hopes of making a big splash. Dix stands at 6'5", who shot 42% from three-point range and averaged 14.4 points per game for the Iowa Hawkeyes. IU currently sits with 3 commits as incoming Mount Verde freshman Trent Sitzley reaffirmed his commitment under Darren DeVries. Stay tuned to see how IU constructs the roster throughout the offseason. Now pivoting to Ava Wajanki on Qualls.
Thank you, Drew. Well, like you mentioned, the qualification race, better known as Qualls for the Little 500, it took place last weekend, where 76 total bike teams attempted to qualify for their respective races. It was an event full of excitement and a few surprises. Let's take a look at the teams who made the cut for the 2025 Little 500 race. For the men, last year's reigning champion Black Key Bulls finished with the fastest time of the day at 2 minutes and 23 seconds, seating them in spot number 1. Sigma Alpha Epsilon slotted themselves into second, and 3PH Cycling is in the 3rd seed to round out your top 3. You can see the full list here. And in the women's race, Delta Gamma will start in the leadoff spot after they completed their qualification with a time of 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Novus Women will start in spot 2, and last year's winners of the women's race, Kappa Alpha Theta, sits in the 3rd seed for your top 3. A full list of the women's qualifying teams and their seedings can be seen here. And for more information about the big race, make sure you're following the Indiana University Student Foundation. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Ava. The Final Four kicks off on Saturday, and we have 4 1 seeds for the first time since 2008. Elite 8 hero Walter Clayton Jr. in Florida take on Wooden Trophy finalist Janai Broom in Auburn, followed by projected number 1 pick Cooper Flagg and Duke taking on the Houston Cougars. It truly is a stacked field, and this Saturday should be one for the ages. So, with that, I ask you, Drew, who do we like?
Well, all teams make a very compelling case. I think it's going to come down to Houston and Duke. Both teams are playing their best basketball at the moment, and I'm going to have to give the edge to Duke as Cooper Flagg, Tyrese Proctor, John Knuppel are all just balling right now, and I expect them to continue on and win this whole thing.
I would agree. Whoever comes out of that Duke game, I believe, will win the national championship, but I think it will be Duke against Auburn, with Duke coming out on top. Well, that's all we have for today. I'm Trent Petrowski alongside me, Drew Burke. Make sure to check out the Fast 5 social media, and thank you for tuning in.